to a brand new episode of Coming Distractions brought to you by the Nerdpocalypse podcast. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Terrence.
What's up?
All right, guys, we're back. This episode, we're going to talk about Dolemite is My Name. This is the soon-to-be-released biographical comedy about the first Dolemite movie done by Rudy Ray Moore. Yeah. This is obviously starring Eddie Murphy and just a whole host of other people. Keegan-Michael Key, Mike Epps, Craig Robinson, Titus Burgess. But so this is Eddie Murphy's sort of coming out party. Like, he hasn't really been in any sort of major comedies in a number of years. This was directed by Craig Brewer, who did Hustle and Flow and Black Snake Moan, if you know those movies. And he's also directing the Coming to America sequel. Good luck. So, Terrence, you had a chance to see this.
Yes.
What is the general premise? Even though I think I kind of said it. Yeah, the ghetto theory. So, what is the general premise of this movie and your thoughts?
Well, the movie starts off with Rudy Ray Moore, played by Eddie Murphy. He's trying to get a record of his played at a studio. He made a bunch of songs before he took on this Dolemite character, which apparently he stole from a bunch of bums.
Oh, really?
Like they show this whole sequence where he's like, this guy comes into a store and he starts telling these stories and he does the rhyming cadence just like Dolemite. And the guy's like, Dolemite is like this character that they made up to tell stories, to do whatever, to entertain himself. So he kind of took that and made it his own. Yeah. Like, he took their stories, some of them like verbatim, but then he took other and made them his own. Okay. The problem that I have with, look, Eddie Murphy is a good actor, right?
Yeah, like a decent actor.
He hasn't had a good movie in 25 years, but he's a good actor.
No.
He was in, what was it, Showgirls? Not Showgirls, goddamn.
Oh,
Dreamgirls.
Dreamgirls.
Showgirls is something completely different. He's actually good in this, but he's just kind of like, he has the mannerisms of Rudy Ray Moore. Rudy Ray Moore had like a way more like raspier voice. Like, for me, he's just playing Donkey from Shrek.
Okay.
Like, through the whole movie, but it's just him, right?
Okay.
It's fine. Like, everybody in the movie's fine. It's funny. But anyway, back to the movie itself. He takes on this persona and he starts traveling around the country and people are he's starting to become well known. And he's like, yo, I want to make a movie. And from like halfway on to the film through the rest of it, it's like his trials and tribulations of trying to make a movie. He don't know what the hell he's doing. He has no clue how to make a movie. He's just like, yo, I've seen all these white folks on screen. Why can't I be there?
Right. Okay.
And the other thing is like, and it's kind of weird because they have like body positivity, because he's got this I think her name is Divine in the movie. There's a heavier girl. He's like, yo, I want you to be in a movie. And she's kind of like his protege. Okay. Because he saw her in a club and he's like, I think you might be funny. And they kind of do this whole thing together. And she's a heavier girl, and she's like, I never really see people like me on screen. So he broke down some barriers, and he's also like the first nigga to sell records from his car.
That's hilarious.
It's funny because his stuff is so vulgar. Like, record stores are like, I can't sell this. You're talking about like ducks, fucking sheep and shit. What the hell's wrong with you? So he starts selling them out the trunk of his car.
That's funny. Starting a precedent.
Yeah. And they kind of said that he's like, they consider him like the godfather of rap because
of that.
His comedy, the way the cadence, him rhyming and everything.
Yeah,
like that.
Okay, I can see that.
People in there picked up that kind of rhyming style, and that's what they put it into their music. Interesting. It's really funny. Like, there's a bunch of different cameos that I didn't know were in the movie. Okay. Keegan-Michael Key is kind of funny.
He's kind of the straight man.
He's a straight man, yeah. But he's kind of like playing like the character he always plays. But it works in this movie.
Which seems to be the kind of the consensus across like him and Eddie Murphy, right?
Yeah. But it's just a fun movie. Like, just to see how he went through this whole process to make this awful film. Right. It's not good. By any stretch of the imagination. No, it is not. But it's kind of like it's a cult classic, kind of in like the vein of like a Rocky Horror Picture Show. Right. Like, people love to watch it. Like, it's not much, but it's just a fun movie to watch. Okay. And it's really funny. And like, I'm happy to see Eddie Murphy back in something funny, because that hasn't been the case in so long.
20, like literally like 20 years.
It's been a very long time, but it's like it's coming on Netflix at the end of the month.
Okay,
it's fine. It's a good watch.
All right, there you go. Do you have a score for folks?
I'd give it like 3 out of 5.
Okay, that's not bad. I mean, look, again, for Eddie Murphy to be coming back and this kind of be his sort of big coming out party, 3 out of 5 is pretty good, I think.
Yeah,
because I think people were like, "Is this?" I
didn't know what to expect. It started off really rocky. I'm like, "Oh Lord!" When it first, because like Snoop is in the first scene, and he's talking. He's the DJ, and I'm like, none of this is funny at all.
Right.
But then as it progressed, I'm like, okay, I'm getting into it, and then there were some parts that are just fucking hilarious.
Okay.
Again, because that movie's terrible, but like. And that's the only one I've ever seen. Of course, my uncles don't give a fuck about your youth. Right. So they'll be like, yo, look at this nigga.
Like, yo, this is, right, I am like not old enough for this.
What are you talking about? Like naked chicks and all that? Oh, there was some fine ass women in that movie.
All right, relax.
Okay, anyway. Like it was the 70s, you know. Anyway.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, but it's a fun movie.
All right.
Check it out.
All right, 3 out of 5 for Dolemite Is My Name. And we will see you guys next time.
Take it easy.
Bye. You're watching the Nerdpocalypse YouTube channel. Make sure you click that button to subscribe and check out our weekly podcast where we talk about movie, TV, news, tech, and weird stories from around the internet.